The number one problem in today's generation and economy is the lack of financial literacy. Alan Greenspan. And that's true. In the public school system, they don't really teach financial literacy, money management, or anything like that. When I was in high school, I've learned about investing and everything, but I didn't really learn about budgeting and personal finance until I got to college. But before we go ahead and get into that topic, make sure you like, subscribe, share, jump in the comments, tell me what your thoughts are. We'll love to hear them. Now let's dig into it. All right, so when it comes to the lessons that I've learned, or one of the major lessons that I learned, while raising my son is, learning how to manage one's finances, saving, investing, and everything. Now, it's not to say that investing wasn't one of the things that I wanted to do, because I wanted to go into investing. I remember being in high school and learning about investing in the stock market. But at the time, investing in the stock market was such a far reach coming from the culture that I came from. And if you didn't really have the money or the access to get there, that was also a problem. So learning from previous generations, it was kind of like it wasn't really talked about. Saving wasn't really talked about. Budgeting wasn't really talked about. And then when you did try to budget, I remember the days where it was a calculator and there was some paper, and then you had your list on one paper, and then you had a calculator in your hand. You're trying to calculate everything to make sure that you still fall within budget. Now we have apps that pretty much do it for us, as we either scan or, we plug it in ourselves manually. But back then, didn't have all of that. So trying to maintain and stay within budget, was a little bit more paper pushing than anything. Now, what I learned from them really wasn't that much, because we didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about anything. So how did I get into a situation where I had to teach my son about money, teach my son about what's the difference between being materialistic and what's the difference with being practical? Do you be practical on some issues, or do you be materialistic when it comes to buying stuff that's of quality, that's going to last long, or is going to hold value and everything? And that's from clothes to technology to automotive and everything. Do you go for what you want, or do you go with what's going to fit well within your budget concerns? So those a few things that I had to, sit down and have conversations with my son to kind of get his mind into that wealth mindset. And when we talk about wealth, and what wealth means to me is, and it means different things for a lot of people. So wealth could mean for people is like health. My health is my wealth. If it's like I'm healthy, then I'm wealthy. Some people for wealth is like family, love, the people that's around them. That's their wealth. It's not necessarily a monetary value. Wealth to me is having the luxuries to do whatever I want to do when I want to do them, while having income, whether passive or active, flow in on a daily basis, all day, every day, without having to go and work a 9 to 5 to have it. Now, it doesn't mean that I have to make $100 million a year or $1 million a year. I can be happy with $500,000 a year and still go out and live my life and do the things I want to do. To be honest with you, if I had the opportunity to just say, you know what, I'm going on a 2-week vacation, I'll be back, and my business will still flourish and run fine, I'm gonna love to do that. That is a dream of mine, to just be like, you know what, take me, my son, a girlfriend at the time, or whatever the case is, wife at the time, whatever the future may hold, and just be like, you know what, I want to fly out. I want to go. Like, let's just go. Tell your job you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. Hey, we out. Oh, your business, tell your business we gone for 2 weeks, and we out. And we go. And we still come back. Say we go and we spend $5,000, but when we come back, we done made $10,000, $15,000 in the 2 weeks that we were gone. Like, that is the type of lifestyle and luxuries that I'm looking to have. Now, everybody else's luxuries may be different, but that's the kind of luxury that I'm looking to have. So that is the empire, is what I call it, that I want to build. Now, when we talk about access and investing, like I said, at the time, there wasn't too much access to investing. You had to have a large amount of money, or you had to go through a broker. Then that broker would get a percentage, and then you had to go so forth, so forth. Now we have more access to investing. So back in like 2015, 2017, we had the access, they started inventing apps that allowed you to be able to access the investing market. So you can start investing in stocks, investing in companies, mutual funds, gold, silver, everything. And then also, cryptocurrency came around as well. So it provided a little bit more access for the regular 9-to-5 worker to be able to go in and invest. Okay. Now, with having that knowledge, how do you arm your kids to be able to make wise decisions, make good financial decisions, and then be able to spend money and live? Now, we know in today's time, things are a little bit more expensive, but wages aren't as much. So how do you budget and manage around that, right? So, as I stated from previous generations, they didn't really talk about money. They didn't talk about investing. They didn't talk about budgeting. I didn't get, and I'm not going to say all generations, but I didn't get the knowledge of money and investing as what I'm teaching my son. And what I mean by teaching my son is because I'm trying to show him how to invest. So I started him an investment account, and I'm showing him how to invest. By showing him how to invest, I'm learning how to invest too, because I'm learning as I go. So I learned the majority of it on the front end, and then I started teaching him as he started becoming along in age, because I wanted him to have that investment knowledge. I wanted him to be set up for investments going forward. So he's all set, ready to go, and we just keep on proceeding. So now that we have access to investing, he has a managed account, and we have a trust that we house all of my finances in. So if anything was to happen, then he'll be able to go ahead and he'll be ahead to be set. If anything was happening to me, he'll have money dispersed out to him. He'll have money for college. He'll have money for anything. I highly recommend getting a trust, because a trust is probably one of the best forms of protection so far as finances and anything that you can get. Because you put in the trust and everything, and you put a will next to it, it stays out of probate court. It's a good tax shelter and everything. So you can really look at getting a trust for you and your family that it can be beneficial. And a lot of people have trust, and they tie life insurance policies to it, whether it's whole life, term life, or whatever the case is. And then that money just builds up in there. And the good thing is that, you can borrow from it and everything. And it's beneficial for the whole family when you talk about that trust. I'm really big on having a trust for the family. So I say all this to say that, even, and I'm getting back to my other statement about today's time and everything, how things are a little bit more expensive, budget and everything. But when we really look at the big picture of it all, one of the things that we have to remember is that when it comes to finances, when it comes to spending, when it comes to, educating our kids on finances, that also helps our decision-making process as well, because we get better with money management. We get better about where we spend our money at. You can determine how much money you bring in a month, where all that money goes. Okay, so if you want to spend more money towards groceries, you can spend more money towards groceries if that's more important to you, or buying clothes if that's more important to you. You know how much money you have left, where you can take money from somewhere else and put elsewhere. It helps you make a little bit more better decisions when it comes to what your insurance is. You may want to try to make your insurance is too high. You may think you want to shop around and say, my insurance is too high. I want to kind of dial back on some of the insurance, and I want to put money elsewhere. So knowing what money comes in and what money comes out, and understanding what your cash flow is really essential, because when your kids see that you're good with money management, then they'll also pick up the habits of money management. And as they pick up the habits, then you can kind of school them on, especially when they get their first job. They learn about taxes, they learn about credit cards, they learn about all these things that's going to be beneficial to them in the future. And you want to be able to help them kind of move forward with being able to practice good money habits. Because one thing is for certain and two things for sure, the economy is going to continuously go up. And we understand that service jobs are going to continuously go down. So the labor intense jobs that could be going away, service jobs and everything, is going to decrease as automation started to play a bigger picture and a bigger role. So what does that mean for the next generation? Okay, what does that mean for wages 9 to 5? What does that mean for spending habits? So a lot of these things is something to consider when you're talking about teaching your kids about finances, when you're teaching them about careers. Because if you see that a lot of the service positions are going away, but a lot of the engineer and IT jobs are kind of ballooning, and that will be a good decision to say, okay, well, let's look at where the careers are going. Let's look at where jobs are going. And if we look at where careers and jobs are going, we can make the discernment that from a financial perspective, this would be the best route to go. Now, not everybody's gonna want to go that route, okay? And it's completely fine. But at the same time, it would be a great idea to say, hey, from a financial perspective, where do you want to be in life? And I had to ask my son that same question. Where do you want to be in life so you can go forward and live comfortably? I don't say, hey, do you want to be wealthy? Do you want to be rich or anything like that? Like, what do you want to make? Or do you feel like you should make to live comfortable? Because not everybody's going to be a millionaire. No, not everybody's going to make $100,000. But what do you feel that you need to make to feel comfortable? And whatever you feel like you need to make to feel comfortable, your career should match that. And at the same time, you should also have a backup plan as well. So, when it comes to career choice, when it comes to spending habits and everything, all that kind of goes in line with each other. You know, my spending habits kind of go along with kind of like the career I chose for the most part. Now they sync up sometimes they don't. Sometimes I have good spending habits, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's paycheck to paycheck. But at the end of the day, you know, most of us, some of us, it's probably gonna be paycheck to paycheck going forward in the future because of the way the economy is lined up. But good financial literacy and teaching that to your kid is going to be more beneficial to them than them not knowing. I didn't understand credit cards until I got older. I didn't understand loans until I got older. I didn't understand credit score until I got older. I'm teaching my son all that information up front so that he is well equipped and capable to be a financial threat in the future, so he could be set and live comfortably. Even when I'm well and gone, he can live comfortable and say, you know what, I'm comfortable, I'm educated, and you know, I have key investments that's going to make me, you know, tons of money, and have those 2 or 3 additional streams of income. So definitely keep teaching kids financial literacy. I'll catch y'all on the next go around. Peace.